Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be sharing my exact trade plan for this week on Euro USD, the Pounds USD, USD JPY, Australia USD, Gold USD, US30, and BTC then DXY. So guys, if you are new to this channel, my name is Zil, Forex trader with over 18 years trading experience. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel. So let's dive straight to the analysis. Let's start our analysis with the pounds USD. Let's look at the structure of the pounds USD. The structure of the pounds USD now is clear for a bearish trend on the 4-hour time frame. So long we have this clear, strong bearish trend for the pounds USD, so we can start looking for our possible area of interest where we are to sell the pounds USD to the downside. So this week, what are we expecting? What is the structure for the market on the pounds USD this week? You can see we have price close below this major level, this shift of trend. We create the shift of trend for downtrend on the 4-hour time frame. Then we can see ever since then price has been on this range. Then we can see now price has closed below this inner structural level, which indicates the bearish trend has resumed for the pounds USD. So all we need to do now, we expect price to retest back to this level. Then we'll start looking for possible selling opportunity for the pounds to the downside. Price might also retest this area before looking for the selling opportunity for the pounds USD to the downside. So, but we can't just use this 4 hours time frame to determine the clear direction of this week movement for the pounds USD. So let's also look at the daily time frame to also get more clue on the trend of the pounds USD. Let's go to the daily time frame. So on my daily time frame, we can also see that we now have a series of lower highs for the pounds USD. So we now have this higher high and a lower high, then a lower high. So this is an indication of a bearish trend for the pounds USD. So long we have this bearish trend now on the pounds USD, you can see that the daily time frame and the 4-hour time frame, the trend are all in the same direction, which is we're expecting price to do a retest of this zone. Then we'll start looking for the possible selling opportunity for the downside for price to hit this next daily support level. So we're expecting price to move back to down to this daily support level for the pounds USD. You can clearly see that the 4-hour time frame and the daily time frame, they all have the downtrend structure for more sales opportunity on the pounds USD. So let's look at our next pair, which should be, let's look at the Euro USD. So on the Euro USD, you can also see that we also have a breakout structure for selling opportunity on the Euro USD. So long we have this trend for downtrend for selling opportunity for Euro USD, all we have to do, we can't just jump in because we have this strong downtrend momentum for selling opportunity. We don't know if this particular trend is a trap for traders. So all we need to also confirm this trend and also look for proper area where we can also take advantage of selling opportunity for this trend. So let's look at the areas you have to sell the Euro USD from this week. So long we have this series of lower highs on the Euro USD, we have this series of lower highs. It's not clear that we have a downtrend structure, and you can see that price is currently rejecting price fail to close below this support level. This is a sign of price reversal back to this resistance area. Then we can start looking for possible sell for the Euro USD to the downside. So long we have this kind of strong structure for selling opportunity on the Euro USD, we can start looking for more sales from these levels. You can start looking for more sales from these areas, for the Euro USD. But let's confirm this particular trend from the higher time frame, which is the daily chart. We don't want to go against the trend of the market, because trading against the trend of the market is really, it makes trading difficult. So it's not advisable trading against the trend of the market. Trading with the flow of the market makes trading easy. So it's advisable to follow the flow of the major market direction. So let's look at the daily trend. You can see from the daily trend also, you can also see that we now have a clear picture of a downtrend structure. We can see we have this higher high and a lower high, then a lower high. So this series of lower high indicates the more of the bearish trend for the Euro USD. So long we have this bearish trend on Euro USD, it's a clear sign for more of the selling opportunity for the Euro USD, which indicates we are expecting price to retest back to this zone. Then we can start looking for the possible sell to the downside. We can currently see that this current candlestick close on the daily time frame is currently on this support level. So long we have price on this support level, and which is a reversal support level, this will trigger a reversal of price back to this resistance level. We should expect price to reverse back to this resistance level before we start looking for possible selling opportunity for the Euro USD to the downside. So long we have this clear structure for selling opportunity on the Euro USD, we have to wait for price to retrace back to our area of interest on the daily time frame, which or the 4-hour time frame. But then we can start looking for more confirmation for our selling opportunity for the Euro USD. So let's look at for the next pair. Before we continue with the analysis, if you are a trader, still find difficult to have your edge in this market and you're still struggling with your trading, we help new traders to become profitable. You can hit the link in description to apply for our advanced one-on-one mentorship. Then you can also book on my video course, the link also in description below. So let's continue with the analysis. So let's look at our next pair, which is the dollar index, which is the DXY. The DXY on the 4-hour time frame break out of a consolidation level. You can see that price has been on this consolidation for a long period of time now. You can see that price has truly break out of the consolidation, which indicates we can start looking for more of the buying opportunity after the breakout from this consolidation, which is we now have this, we now have lower low, then higher low, then higher low, and higher low. So this series of higher low indicate more bullish opportunity for the dollar index. So we expect more of the buying opportunity from the dollar index this coming week. And you can also see that price has also break out of these structural levels. So long price have taken out these structural levels, which now puts, we now have the major structure of lower low and a series and this higher low, then higher low. So this series of higher low also indicate that there's more buying opportunity, there's more potential for buyers to take full shares this coming week for the dollar index, which we expect price to retest back to this zone. Then we'll start looking for a possible buy to this daily resistance level. So we can just confirm the trend with this 4-hour time frame trend. So let's go to the daily chart to also get more clear insight of the trend of the dollar index. So on the dollar index also, you can also daily time frame, you can also see that price also have this double bottom, which is an indication of price reversal. And you can also see that price also break above the neck of the double bottom. So long price break above this neck, all we need price to continue to push higher for the dollar index. You can also see that we now have this higher low and higher low, then higher low. So these are sign of bullish trend for the dollar index. These are sign for a strong dollar this coming week. So all we need now, we need price to retest this daily support zone before start looking for possible buy to this next daily resistance level. But the current structure on the daily chart still showing that this breakout might be a trap, because the major structure on the dollar index still remain on the sideways trend. So we need price to break out of this major structure for us to start looking for that strong buying opportunity for the dollar index. So we can just confirm that this is the major movement for buying? No, because we are still currently on a sideways trend. So long we are still currently on this major structural sideways trend, we need a break of that major structure for us to see the major flows or buying opportunity on the dollar index. So let's go back to the 4-hour time frame. So we need price to break out of the major structural level for us to make that decision for the major buys for the dollar index. So all we need this week, we just need a retest of price around this area for us to buy price to this resistance level. So let's look at our next pair, which is the Australia USD. The Australia USD on the 4-hour time frame is clearly on a downtrend. We can see that price has break the major structure for the Australia, which is this level is the major structural level for the Australia. You can see that price has break this level, which indicates a shifty trend, and a break of price below this area is a confirmation for a bearish trend for the Australia USD. So all we expect this week now, so long we now have a clear confirmation of a bearish trend for the Australia this week, we just need price to do a retest of these areas. Then we'll start looking for possible selling opportunity for more sale or price to this resistance, to this previous resistance level for the Australia USD. You can clearly see that the structure of the Australia USD is very clear for that downtrend movement. But we can't just decide because the 4-hour structure is clear for downtrend movement. We don't know if this structure of break on the 4-hour time frame is a trap. So we need a confirmation from the daily structures to also know if we are clearly on a downtrend on the Australia USD. So let's look at the daily time frame of the Australia USD. On my daily time frame of the Australia USD, you can also see clearly that we now have this clear structure for, we have this higher high and a lower high. You can see that this structure we now have is an inner structure trend for downtrend, which also indicates we also have price. We also expect price to retest back to these levels before start looking for the selling opportunity for the Australia USD. You can clearly see that this is an inner structure movement. But once we see a price break out of this major structural level, once we see a break of price below this major structural level, this will trigger a major structural break for downtrend for the Australia USD. So this is an indication for price reversal for the Australia USD. This is an indication that price is currently reversing to this daily support area. So this price currently is reversing to this daily support area for the Australia USD. So let's go back to the 4-hour time frame. So you can clearly see from the 4-hour time frame picture, this is a clear indication that the current trend we are trading on the Australia USD is a reversal trend. This shows that we are to expect price to return back to these areas. Then we'll start looking for a sell down to this current daily support level. This will be our target for the Australia USD this week. USD JPY has been in an uptrend structure for months now. We can see we have a choppy market and also in a uptrend direction on the 4-hour time frame. After the intervention of the Bank of Japan on the JPY, ever since then the JPY has been very, very weak, which put the JPY, which is the USD JPY, on a uptrend movement ever since that intervention on the JPY. So you can see that the price on the JPY we still have this series of, you have this lower low and a series of higher low, which put the USD JPY in uptrend. So long we have this uptrend movement on the USD JPY, we have to start we are also to start also still keeping looking for more of the buying on the USD JPY. So long we have this series of higher lows, we have to start looking for more of the buying on the USD JPY. So let's confirm this trend from the daily time frame. So on my daily time frame, we can clearly see that the structure of the USD JPY is currently on a sideways trend, which is the major structure is still on a sideways trend on the USD JPY. We need price to break above this level for the major structure break, then we'll start looking for more buys to the top. So our current trend now on the USD JPY on the daily time frame is currently on a reversal trend, which is price we expect to reverse back to move to this resistance area, and a break of that resistance area will trigger more of the buying opportunity for the USD JPY. So let's go back to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, we now have a clear picture that the daily time frame is reversing and the 4-hour time frame is currently in uptrend, which shows that we have a possibility or chance for price to hit this next resistance level on the 4-hour short time frame and the daily time frame. And a break of that resistance level might trigger more of the buying for USD JPY. And this week, with the current trend, there's a sign of price will break that resistance level. But if price fail, might start looking for possible selling opportunity. But looking for possible selling opportunity, we need a series of lower highs for us to start looking for possible selling opportunity on the USD JPY. So let's look at the next pair, which is the gold USD. Gold USD on the 4-hour time frame still remain on a downtrend. We can clearly see that we have a strong bearish trend picture printing out for the gold USD. You can see we have this price created this higher high and a series of lower highs. So this series of lower high has been putting the gold USD on a downtrend ever since then. So long we have this downtrend structure on the gold USD, our job is to keep looking for more selling opportunity for the gold USD. So this trend we have now, let's confirm this trend. If the higher time frame trend also support this trend for the gold USD, we don't want to trade against the trend of the market. That is why we are confirming the trend to know the proper movement of price for the gold USD. Let's confirm the trend by looking at the daily time frame. The daily time frame, you can also see that we now have a clear picture of a downtrend for the gold USD. You can see you have this higher high and a lower high, then a lower high, then a lower high. This series of lower high indicates more bearish trend for the gold USD. So long we have this clear picture of a bearish trend for the daily chart and the 4-hour chart, this shows that we have to look out for more of the selling opportunity on the gold USD. We have to look out for area of interest where we are to sell the gold USD from, because we can't just place a sell order because we have a downtrend. We need to pick out levels where we can start looking for our possible sells for the gold USD. So we need price to do a retest of these levels, which is all these areas, my area of interest. I'm expecting price to retest for then before I start looking for the possible selling opportunity for the gold USD, which we expect price to retest this level. Then we start looking for the selling opportunity for the gold USD. So let's go back to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, we now see clearly that the gold USD is truly on a downtrend. Then we can start waiting for price to retest back to these our major areas of interest for us to start selling the gold USD. So long we have these areas that we just plotted at, expect price to retest this area before we start looking for our possible sell for the gold USD. So long we have this clear structure, we don't want to go against it. We have to focus our attention on the selling opportunity from the lower time frame, because the lower time frame gives you low risk while trading. So let's keep looking for more sales on the gold. Let's look at our next pair, which is the US30. The US30 on my 4-hour time frame see have a clear picture for uptrend. So long we have this clear picture for uptrend on the US30, our job is to keep looking for more of the buys on the US30. So we can see we have price still have this structure of a series of higher low. You can see we have this lower low and this higher low, higher low, higher low, then higher low. So this series of higher lows indicate more of the bullish structure for the US30. So long we have this strong bullish structure for the US30, our job is to still look out for more of the buying opportunity on the US30. You can clearly see that we still have price on this support level. So if price can break this support level, this might trigger more sell for the US30. But currently, so long price still remain above this level, our aim is to look at for our possible buying opportunity, because we still have a small structure for buying opportunity for the US30. So let's go back, let's go to the daily time frame to get more insight of the trend of the US30 on the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, you can clearly see that the US30 on the daily time frame still have a clear structure, a clear picture of more buys. You can see we have this lower low, then a series of higher lows. This series of higher lows indicates a clear structure for more buys for US30. So long we have this kind of clear structure for buys on US30, our aim is to look at for more of the buys, because this is a clear structure for buys on the US30. We can't go against the trend of the market now, because we have clear structure for more buys on the US30. So let's go back to the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame now, we need a confirmation for price to us to keep buying for the US30 to this next resistance and this resistance level. So this will be our focus for buys on the US30 this week. So let's look at our next pair, which is the BTC USD. So the BTC USD on my 4-hour time frame still have strong bearish trend. You can see we still have a strong bearish trend for the BTC USD. We can see that after the major break of the structure, after a major structural break, this was our major structural break on the 4-hour time frame, which put the BTC USD on a serious downtrend after the major structural break. So long we have this major break and this strong downtrend, so we are still expecting more sales on the BTC USD, but we can't sell on this current trend now. We need price to come to these areas and these areas for us to start looking for possible sell. We need clear trend reversal to this major level, so start looking for the sales. If you are selling from this deep, is a wrong area. It's better to buy back to this resistance area for us to start selling, which is now start looking for series of lower highs for us to sell the BTC USD. So let's confirm this trend of the BTC USD from the daily time frame. Let's look at the BTC USD daily time frame. So on my daily time frame, we can also see that we also have a clear picture of a downtrend structure. So long we have the downtrend, clear picture of a downtrend structure, we need price to come back to this resistance area or this resistance area for us to sell the BTC to the down. Our current level where we have price now is a support level. This is an indication for price reversal to this area for we can see this possible sell for the BTC to down. So you can see that we now have a clear picture of a reversal trend of BTC to these major levels for us to sell. Even though we have price on the daily chart a downtrend, on the 4-hour chart downtrend, no, we can't just sell. We need price to go to a major level for us to start selling the BTC. And after price reverse back to the major level on the 4-hour chart, we also need price to give us a series of lower highs for us to sell. We also need price to give us a series of lower highs for us to sell. If not, we are trading a counter trend against the major trend. So we need a clearer trend for us to sell the BTC USD. If you find this analysis helpful, do well to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more subsequent weekly Forex analysis.